In Blake's first amended complaint, Blake changed what she alleges about what happened while filming the slow dance scene, now that the footage has been released for everyone to see.
Had there been these horrible things, and had there been these horrible text messages, had there been this horrible information, that stuff would have been put out there too.
In a shocking turn of events that has sent ripples through Hollywood and beyond, Blake Lively, an actress celebrated for her approachable charm and philanthropic endeavors, was taken into custody following an alleged physical altercation with Justin Baldoni, a figure equally admired for his compassionate public persona. The incident, unfolding during what was intended to be a private meeting concerning a joint charitable venture, has left industry insiders and fans alike reeling, struggling to reconcile the seemingly amicable public images of both actors with the stark reality of a reported physical confrontation. Initial reports paint a picture of a complex collision of mounting stress, professional ambition, simmering miscommunication, and ultimately, raw, unchecked emotion, culminating in an unforeseen and deeply regrettable incident.
Blake Lively accused It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni of and retaliation. Lively's complaint accuses Baldoni, who is also the film's director, of creating a hostile work environment and trying to ruin her reputation after she expressed her concerns.
Those closest to the situation reveal that Lively and Baldoni had been collaborating on a promising initiative, a unique hybrid project blending entertainment with charitable outreach, designed to leverage their respective platforms for social good. Lively, a vocal advocate for child welfare and women's empowerment, and Baldoni, whose career is deeply intertwined with promoting emotional vulnerability and respectful dialogue, envisioned a partnership that could attract both significant philanthropic contributions and widespread mainstream attention. However, behind the veneer of shared goodwill, tensions had been quietly brewing for weeks, surfacing during meetings concerning branding strategies, the division of responsibilities within the project, and increasingly contentious scheduling conflicts. While disagreements were acknowledged and creative friction anticipated, no one within their inner circles foresaw the simmering tensions escalating into a physical confrontation, a dramatic and unexpected breach of professional decorum.
Asking for the gag order and explaining how he's talking too much, he's threatening to post stuff on public sites. So what I think is, this looks good for Baldoni, right? He's like, we want to make it all public. And sometimes lawyers can do this knowing that they can't actually do what they say they're going to do.
Eyewitness accounts of the day in question paint a picture of a meeting initially characterized by a veneer of professional civility, yet subtly permeated by an undercurrent of unease. Lively, arriving first, appeared visibly fatigued, a possible consequence of a demanding schedule. Baldoni, known for his affable demeanor, adopted a more formal posture than usual, perhaps sensing the need to navigate lingering disagreements that remained unresolved. While greetings were exchanged and notepads readied, a palpable tension hung in the air, a silent acknowledgement that despite shared philanthropic goals, fundamental differences in approach and vision still needed to be addressed and reconciled before the collaborative venture could truly move forward.
That she became uncomfortable with Justin Baldoni yesterday while she was filming. She states that Mr. Baldoni put his bare hands on her backside and said that he was trying to help her with her posture. Complainant immediately voiced her displeasure with being touched on an intimate part of her body, and Mr. Baldoni responded with, "It's fine, I'm totally hot for my wife," in a dismissive tone.
The precise catalyst for the ensuing argument remains shrouded in conflicting accounts, each offering a slightly different interpretation of the escalating tensions. Some witnesses suggest Lively felt her creative contributions were being undervalued, blindsided by the last-minute revelation that key philanthropic partners favored Baldoni's messaging approach over her own. Conversely, others contend that Baldoni perceived Lively as encroaching upon aspects of the project he considered intrinsic to his personal brand, particularly the emphasis on emotional authenticity and vulnerability he intended to champion. One account highlights a pivotal moment when Lively questioned whether Baldoni's proposed approach risked overshadowing the core philanthropic mission, veering instead toward what she perceived as self-promotional tactics. Baldoni, in turn, reportedly attempted to clarify that personal storytelling and self-reflection were not deviations from the charitable goals, but rather essential cornerstones of his established and effective approach to public engagement.
He claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it. I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling bully. That Justin Baldoni, ultimately, by the time they got to the premiere, was mandated by Blake Lively to spend the night in the basement away from his co-stars and didn't even get to see the final cut of his own movie because Blake Lively insisted that she be the one to approve it.
As the verbal sparring intensified, the atmosphere in the room became increasingly charged. Voices were raised, audible even to those in the hallway outside, punctuated by short bursts of heated exchange. Despite the escalating tension, multiple witnesses emphasize that neither Lively nor Baldoni appeared to be acting from malicious intent. Rather, the disagreement took on a deeply personal edge, fueled by clashing egos and mounting emotional investment in the project. Several staff members, sensing the imminent unraveling of the meeting, attempted to interject, urging both Lively and Baldoni to pause, to de-escalate, to seek a more conciliatory path forward. However, both principals, seemingly locked in a battle of wills, remained resolute, unwilling to concede ground or compromise their respective positions.
Was what Blake says, a conversation that she heard had taken place with Steve Sarowitz. Steve Sarowitz is the head of Wayfair Studios. He is the co-founder of Wayfair Studios, along with Justin. And she says in this lawsuit that, is it interesting? She says, this is what I heard, he said, but it's presented as a quote in the lawsuit. She says that Steve said, I will protect the studio like Israel protected itself from Hamas.
Accounts of the physical contact itself vary in minor details, yet converge on a central narrative. Lively, in a moment of heightened frustration, stepped forward, gesturing emphatically to underscore her point. Baldoni, attempting to maintain a degree of physical distance amidst the increasingly heated exchange, found himself backed against a large piece of furniture, effectively cornered. The intensity of the conversation, combined with the close physical proximity, reportedly triggered a reaction from Baldoni. He raised his hands, whether in a conciliatory gesture, a defensive motion, or a combination of both, remains a point of contention. Lively, however, interpreted this gesture as an attempt to interrupt her, to silence her, or to physically block her from advancing further. Responding in what witnesses describe as a moment of impulsive reaction, Lively pushed Baldoni back.
He and 9 other plaintiffs, including his publicists, have brought a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times, essentially alleging them of libel and false light invasion of privacy. So Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, he told BBC's partner CBS that the newspaper aided and abetted a smear campaign designed to revitalise Lively's floundering image.
The force of Lively's push caused Baldoni to stumble backward, colliding with a nearby chair, sending it crashing to the floor. The physical motion, though fleeting, was enough to elicit a collective gasp from those present. The sudden shift from verbal sparring to physical contact, creating a palpable shockwave through the room. Baldoni, momentarily stunned but physically unharmed, quickly regained his balance. Lively, in the immediate aftermath of her action, appeared to be a mixture of incensed and shocked, seemingly grappling with the sudden escalation and the physical manifestation of her frustration. Despite the brief physical contact, the tension in the room remained thick, unresolved, and pregnant with unspoken recriminations.
Dear Judge Lyman, as counsel for Wayfair Studios LLC, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, It Ends With Us Movie LLC, Melissa Nathan, the Agency Group PR LLC, and Jennifer Abel, collectively the Wayfarer parties, we write to advise the court of an issue that the Wayfarer parties wish to address at the upcoming conference on Monday, February 3rd, 2025.
It was at this critical juncture that someone outside the immediate meeting room, alerted by the escalating commotion, reportedly contacted security, or potentially even law enforcement authorities directly. The meeting location, a well-known production space, had established protocols for handling disturbances, and security staff swiftly arrived to find Baldoni attempting to de-escalate the situation, while simultaneously contending with his apparent surprise and bewilderment at the sudden turn of events. Lively, visibly upset and agitated, her voice still raised, her face flushed, was surrounded by staff attempting to defuse the situation. As security personnel attempted to ascertain the details of what had transpired, law enforcement officers arrived on the scene, responding to a call indicating a physical altercation had taken place. By this point, Lively's initial anger seemed to have given way to a stunned disbelief, a dawning realization of the gravity of the situation and the potential repercussions of her actions.
You can understand it. They're sort of radioactive. In one breath, Blake Lively is saying she was the subject of serious harassment during the filming of It Ends With Us, and now they're making light of it on SNL's 50th reunion show. So tonally, it does seem off, and I can imagine people just wanting to stay away from it. You're going to catch shrapnel if you get involved in this drama at this point.
Baldoni, in the immediate aftermath, reportedly displayed no inclination toward further confrontation, prioritizing a peaceful and private resolution to the escalating crisis. However, with authorities now involved, the situation had moved beyond his sole control. Responding officers, obligated to investigate any credible report of physical aggression, interviewed witnesses, assessed Baldoni's condition, and inquired whether he felt threatened or required medical attention. Baldoni, while acknowledging being shaken by the rapid escalation of events, reportedly insisted he was physically unharmed. Despite Baldoni's apparent reluctance to press charges, standard law enforcement procedures in many jurisdictions dictate that credible evidence of physical aggression, even in the absence of a victim's desire to prosecute, can trigger an arrest. Witness statements confirmed Lively had pushed Baldoni with sufficient force to cause him to stumble and collide with furniture. Based on this information and prevailing local statutes regarding battery or assault, authorities made the decision to place Lively under arrest. Observers described the arrest itself as relatively calm, with Lively appearing to be in a state of shock, possibly offering apologies or attempting to clarify that she never intended for the situation to spiral out of control. Nevertheless, protocol dictated procedure, and Lively was escorted away for processing, leaving behind a room stunned into silence and disbelief.
In Blake's first amended complaint, Blake changed what she alleges about what happened while filming the slow dance scene, now that the footage has been released for everyone to see. So what they're saying is, now that, Justin Baldoni shared the truth of what it looks like, they're no longer making the same claims. Previously, they said Miss Lively was filming a slow dance scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Of course, Justin proved there was sound. Mr. Baldoni chose to let the camera roll and have them perform the scene, but did not act in character as Ryle. Instead, he spoke to Miss Lively out of character as himself.
The ensuing days descended into chaos for all involved. Lively's team scrambled to manage the burgeoning public relations crisis, while simultaneously navigating the complex legal ramifications of the arrest. Baldoni's representatives, in contrast, emphasized a desire to keep the matter private, underscoring his lack of intent to escalate the situation, even as the involvement of law enforcement placed elements of the case firmly within the purview of prosecutors. Ryan Reynolds, caught in the tumultuous crossfire, wrestled with a maelstrom of emotions, torn between supporting his wife and grappling with the escalating public spectacle. Media outlets seized upon the story, providing round-the-clock coverage, dissecting every angle of the alleged assault, and speculating endlessly on whether Lively's carefully cultivated public image could withstand such a damaging blow. Photos of Lively entering and exiting the police station circulated widely online, accompanied by headlines highlighting the jarring incongruity of her arrest. Baldoni, too, faced a wave of intense public scrutiny, with many struggling to reconcile the image of an advocate for empathy and dialogue with the reality of a physical confrontation. As the dust settles, the future of the philanthropic project remains uncertain, overshadowed by the legal proceedings and the lingering questions surrounding the unexpected clash between two of Hollywood's seemingly most amicable figures. The world watches, waits, and wonders what the next act will be in this unfolding Hollywood drama. A stark reminder that even in the realm of celebrity and philanthropy, human fallibility and unforeseen consequences are always just one misstep away. Now we turn it over to you. What are your thoughts on this shocking Hollywood incident? Do you believe this was an unfortunate lapse in judgment or a sign of deeper issues simmering beneath the surface? Share your perspective in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth analyses of the real stories shaping the entertainment world. Because sometimes, the most compelling dramas unfold far from the silver screen.